Welcome back to my channel. Today is the beginning of June, and it also happens to be International Children's Day, so I want to send my best wishes to all the kids out there. Hope you're having a joyful day. Since it's the start of a new month, I've worked hard to get this tier list video out in time so you can stay up to date with the strongest heroes. Compared to May, there are fewer changes in this update because I believe I already placed the previous heroes in the right spots. For heroes whose rankings have changed, I'll go into more detail. As for those who stayed in the same tier, I'll mention them briefly or skip them to save you time. If you're unsure why certain heroes are placed where they are, feel free to check out my tier lists from April and May. Before we dive in, I hope those of you who are new here will hit that subscribe button to support the channel. And if you've been watching but still haven't subscribed, come on, now's the time. Help me reach the dream number every YouTuber wishes for. All right, let's get started. Now let's talk about the SS tier. These 4 heroes have consistently held the highest rank for one simple reason. They are the main damage dealers of their teams. For example, Superman is the primary damage dealer for the Justice League, Joker for the Arkham faction, Sinestro for the Legion of Doom, and Constantine for the Justice League Dark. In short, they currently have the highest damage output in the game. Now, let's talk about another role that's just as important in a team, the tanker. As I explained in my Martian review videos, Martian is a warrior-type hero, so his damage is decent but not incredibly high, especially since he deals mostly AoE damage. What makes him worthy of being in the SS tier is that his entire skill set is designed for survival. Even his legacy skill is focused on helping him stay alive. In a meta filled with high-damage heroes, having a tank who can survive to the end is absolutely essential. Martian might just be the best melee hero to date, possibly even better than Superman, so he definitely deserves his place in the SS tier. Next, we have Poison Ivy, who has been promoted because she's incredibly useful in almost every battle. She's currently the best healer in the game, better than Green Lantern. Why? Because Green Lantern has to be purchased, and the only way free-to-play players can get him is by opening the welcome gift when creating a new account. On top of that, Green Lantern doesn't have as many offensive skills as Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy is also more accessible to free players, making her more widely used. That's why she deserves to move up to the SS tier. Of course, a new healing support might come along in the future and take her place, but for now, I still believe Poison Ivy is the best. Now, let's talk about Nightwing. He's currently the best hero for targeting backline enemies because he attacks the enemy with the lowest HP, and usually the lowest HP targets are the ones with the highest attack power. He works similarly to Deathstroke, but he's even stronger because Deathstroke sometimes ends up hitting frontline melee heroes with high attack instead of backline threats. That means if your opponent figures out how to counter Deathstroke, he might lose his value in battle. Nightwing, on the other hand, is much harder to counter. That's why I've decided to drop Deathstroke down one tier and give Nightwing his spot. It's a bit sad for Deathstroke. He just got promoted last month, and now he's already been bumped down. Dr. Fate, Zatanna, and Scarecrow all play vital roles in keeping the team alive, making them essential picks for any strong lineup. Zatanna in particular not only helps with survivability, but also boosts the team's overall attack, which is why none of them have been replaced in the S tier. What's new here is that Raven has been promoted to a higher tier. She belongs to the Justice League Dark, which is currently considered one of the strongest teams in the game. Plus, she's one of the easiest characters to star up since you can buy her shards weekly from the Meta Brawl shop. She's great at helping the team survive and can be paired with Dr. Fate to protect low HP allies from being taken out by Deathstroke or Nightwing. Even better, her damage is surprisingly high. You'll want to focus on increasing her attack power because her healing is based on how much damage she deals. She also has solid survivability thanks to her skill 1, which heals her based on the damage it deals to enemies. I used to rate her lower because of her passive that takes hits for the lowest HP ally, but now I realize that's actually a huge advantage. It allows high-damage teammates to stay alive longer, which means the enemy team goes down faster. Next up is Wonder Woman. Why did I rank her higher this time? Because she's getting a transformation this month from legendary to mythic. And you already know, if someone is already strong as a legendary, imagine how powerful they'll be as a mythic. She's one of the best tanks in the game, arguably the best among legendary heroes, and even stronger than many current mythics. So if she becomes a mythic hero, she totally deserves a spot in the S tier. As for Deathstroke and Green Lantern, I already talked about them earlier, so I won't repeat myself here. Now let's talk about the Tier A heroes. If you've ever gone up against Shazam, then you already know how strong he is. Cyborg is also incredibly important in many situations, especially when paired with physical damage dealers. He synergizes with them very well. Batman has solid AoE damage, much like Hawkgirl, and is effective in various scenarios, but his damage still isn't high enough to break into Tier S. As for Mera, we all know how useful she is, but again, while all these heroes are strong, they're just not quite strong enough to move up beyond Tier A. Now let's talk about the Flash, who has jumped 2 full tiers up. Many of you have told me how good he is, and I finally got a chance to test him out myself. Turns out, you were right. He's extremely helpful in teams that rely on burst damage because he boosts the attack of your strongest teammate and transfers energy to them. That allows your carry to unleash their ultimate skill twice in a row, dishing out massive damage. This kind of support is a perfect fit for many SS tier heroes, so I believe the Flash absolutely deserves his promotion. On the flip side, Harley Quinn has dropped down 1 tier. She's a melee AoE damage dealer, but her damage output just isn't high enough. Plus, she belongs to a faction that's currently considered the weakest. There are no high-tier damage dealers to carry the team. That faction is more about survivability. If they ever get a strong DPS character, then Harley and Hawkgirl could potentially rise in the rankings. Now on to Arsenal, the newest hero in the DC Dark Legion. From the start, I rated him highly for his unique counterattack damage mechanic, which is very similar to Martian. He also has a single target skill that deals heavy damage. The only issue is it's random, and if all 9 arrows land on a tank, it won't help much. That's why I haven't placed him higher yet. Still, this skill is extremely powerful. If it targets a low HP opponent, it could absolutely destroy the enemy formation. And when paired with Martian, who also has a counterattack mechanic, they can dish out massive retaliatory damage. Arsenal even boosts counterattack damage on enemies afflicted by debuffs. So yeah, he totally deserves his spot in Tier A, and if I get to use him alongside Martian in the future, maybe a few months from now, he might move up even higher. Finally, here's a surprise promotion. Green Arrow has moved up after months of being overlooked. He actually has very solid damage, but what really sets him apart is his ultimate skill. You can manually choose the target. It's kind of like Arsenal's skill, but with fewer arrows, just 3 or 4, but they hit hard. And since he's part of the Justice League, which includes Superman as a melee DPS, the team ends up with 2 strong damage dealers, which makes it much more viable. Next up, I've always rated Deadshot very highly, mainly because of his ability to reduce enemy healing. And let's be honest, every team has at least 1 healer. That's why I valued his skills so much. However, my take on Deadshot has been quite controversial, especially when compared to other tier lists. Despite the debates, I can't bring myself to rank him much lower. I've only dropped him 1 tier, and I'll keep him here until another hero appears with a similar ability that affects all enemies. One possible candidate could be Starfire. I've encountered her in NPC battles, and she reduced healing across my entire team. If that version of her becomes available to players in the future, and if they don't nerf or rework her, that could change things. But for now, Deadshot comfortably sits in Tier B, and that's where he belongs. Next up, we have Penguin. I've decided to move him up 1 tier, and here's why. When my opponent used him against me, he actually dished out some pretty solid damage. Now, when I use him, well, I only have him at 3 white stars, so he hasn't really shined yet. That said, I've bumped him up to Tier C, and we'll see how he performs with better upgrades. Aside from that, there aren't any other changes this month. So, that's it for the June tier list update. What do you think? Do you agree with my rankings? Or do you have your own thoughts? Drop a comment below. I'm always reading your feedback and will continue adjusting the list over time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.